Hey everyone, welcome back to The Truth About Us. This is the place for men where we stop hiding, we stop pretending, and finally get brutally honest about who we are, what we feel, and what we are actually capable of becoming. I'm Don Crampert from Unstoppable Life, and today's episode is another one that probably every man reaches at some point in his life, even if he never admits it. And it's called the turning point. It's the moment a man, me and you, we decide that we're done living small. This is the moment that everything changes. Not because life gets easier, it's because we finally get real and honest. So let's kind of get into it. So there's a quiet realization about a moment. It's a moment, and every man knows it, where we've looked at our lives, looked in the past and realized maybe we've been playing smaller than who we actually are. And it's not because we're weak, and it's not because we're lazy, and it's not because we don't care. It's because we've been living small, because somewhere along the way, we forgot about ourselves. We got too busy trying to be the provider, or the fixer, or the responsible one, or the dependable one, the hold it together guy, no matter what. And all that pressure and all that expectation layered on top of years of suppressing our voice and suppressing our needs and suppressing maybe even our dreams, it starts to squeeze us into a smaller and smaller version of ourselves until one day something changes, something snaps, or something breaks. Or we just wake up and say, enough. I'm done living like this. And we don't do it loudly, though. And we don't do it dramatically. And we don't do it for anyone to see. But quietly, deep inside, that's us. That's the turning point. So what does the turning point really, what is it really? First off, it's the truth. The turning point isn't just one moment. It's a series of moments that finally become too heavy to ignore. It's sitting in our car after work and thinking, this can't be what the rest of my life looks like, is it? It's arguing with your partner and hearing your own voice say things that you don't even recognize anymore. It's waking up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. with the pressure in your chest and on your mind that, you can hear this whispering, this voice. Man, you're meant for more than this. Why are you settling? It's the mirror moment I spoke to a couple weeks ago. That raw, unfiltered second where you see your own eyes in the mirror and you think, where did I go? It's a turning point is when reality finally becomes louder than our excuses. It's when the pain of staying the same becomes heavier than the discomfort of changing. And that, my friends, is when we start to rise. So one of the truths, or some of the truths about living small, we don't live small because we lack ambition. We live small because we've been conditioned to minimize our needs to keep the peace, to keep things rolling, to not rock the boat, to not disappoint anyone, to not fail publicly, to not look weak. Does that sound familiar to anyone? But here's the truth, and nobody tells us this growing up. Nobody. Living small doesn't protect us. It picks us apart and destroys us slowly, a little bit by bit. And when we shrink who we are or who we want to become, we shrink. What happens? Our confidence erodes. Our voices get really quiet. Our passion starts to dim and get a little less. And our purpose gets buried. And our identity starts slipping through our fingers. You stop being the man that you are and become the man you think the world expects us to be. And that's when life really starts feeling heavy. Things really you start to really struggle. And not because life really got harder. It's because we're carrying a version of ourselves that isn't ours anymore. And we don't want it. So this is kind of what the turning point feels like. When the turning point hits us, it's not fireworks. It's not a dramatic movie scene. It's not a dramatic declaration. It's a shift. It's a shift. It's a subtle but powerful click inside of our mind that says, I refuse to abandon myself any longer. And it feels like clarity that we didn't know we were missing and strength we thought we had lost. Sometimes it's courage that was just waiting to be claimed again and recognized, and the truth that we finally stop running from. And here's what most men, we don't realize sometimes. The turning point isn't about fixing our life. It's about reclaiming our identity. Because once we remember who we were, and everything else follows, now we're in for change. So what happens after this turning point, right? The turning point is a door. It's not an escape route. Okay? It's a doorway. And when we walk through it, even with shaky legs and nervous, but with a steady heart, here's what starts to shift. Your standards rise. Not because you become arrogant, but because you remember your self-worth. Another thing that happens is your voice strengthens. We start saying what we mean, and we mean what we say. Another thing that happens, our boundaries, they tighten up. Not to shut people out, but to stop abandoning ourselves for others. Another thing that happens is our energy changes and people feel it. Some will be drawn to it, and some will be threatened by it. And that's okay, because change will always reveal who's truly in your corner. Our vision expands. We will start imagining a life that actually matches our capacity, not our fears. So for those who's at that moment right now, for those of us, okay, if you're listening to this and you feel that message, that pull, that pressure, that inner kind of shake and vibration, this is your turning point. That's your soul, your identity, your true self is waking up. And I really want you to hear me clearly on this. Really, just pay attention here. You're not too late. You're not too old. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not starting from zero. You are starting from wisdom and experience. And every one of those experiences that you've ever had, every setback, every quiet night, every moment of doubt has prepared you and me for this exact moment. Because the turning point doesn't ask, are you ready? The turning point asks, are you willing? And if you are willing to choose yourself, you're willing to rise again, you're willing to take up space and willing to stop shrinking, and willing to live as the man that you were meant to become, your transition and your moment has started. So the turning point, this should be a sacred spot. It's the moment where our past stops defining us and our future starts listening to us. It's the moment we decide that living small is no longer an option. And it's when the whisper inside of us, inside that mind, that's when inside us, that becomes a voice, and that voice becomes your new standard. And this is the moment your life begins again. Not because everything changes, not because you change. It is because of you changing. And when a man changes, everything around him must recognize and reorganize. And that's the truth about us. So if today's episode touched a nerve here or spoke to you, that is amazing and that's great because it was supposed to. We really don't need more motivation. We need moments of truth. And the turning point is one of those most powerful truths we'll ever experience. And if you're in that moment right now, don't run from it. Lean into it. Stand in it. Let it shape you. And remember, You don't have to walk this alone. There is a huge community of men. It's this podcast, this mission. It's here for you. It's here for me. And if you've been living small, it's time to expand. And if you've been shrinking, it's time to rise above it. Your turning point is right now. And if you're ready for deeper tools, deeper support, deeper expansion and empowerment, I want you to check out my Unstoppable Life Reset Experience in my Unstoppable Life app. You can find it anywhere searching in the Unstoppable Life. Just type in Unstoppable Life in your app store, and you can also find it on YouTube. Tune in next week as we'll be discussing a very sensitive, impactful, honest topic I call I'm Living with PTSD. It's the symptoms we hide, the battles that we are never talking about, and the weight that is carried behind closed doors. Until next time, you're still here, you're still fighting, and you're still worth it. And this is the truth about us.